Hello, everybody. Here I am on the math standards page, and this is math standards for kindergarten. One of the areas that I chose to target was number sense. As a kindergarten team at my school, one of our goals for the year is to improve our students' number sense. It is amazing how many students come in with low number sense and how much that sticks with them throughout the school year. And so one of our biggest goals is number sense, and a lot falls under that. We're going to look at this here in just a second, but a lot falls under that number sense. So you'll see here numeric relationships. Students will demonstrate, represent, and show relationships among whole numbers within the base 10 number system. There's a lot that falls underneath of that. And here's our number sense standard here. Students will communicate number sense concepts using multiple representations to reason, solve problems, and make connections within mathematics and across disciplines. So there's a lot there. It kind of is a lot for them to do. So I focus a lot on the one-to-one correspondence right here. That's huge for kiddos. The pointing to objects and realizing that the last number that they say is the number of objects that there are. But the pointing one-to-one, that fine motor, and also counting is really tricky for them. And then just knowing their numbers 1 through 10, being able to build them, put them in the right order, that is a huge, huge objective for us to conquer throughout the year. So as we were going through these resources, I found this Greg Tang math website that I really enjoyed. I dove in here and found some things that I think could be really beneficial for my students. Over here, there's not a kindergarten tab. However, there are some things deep in here that we could definitely use whole group. I think that with some scaffolding, eventually my students would be able to do some of these fun games and resources on their own, but it would have to be something part of our lesson for a while. My favorite thing that I found was this Numtanga, and it would be Numtanga Junior for our little kiddos here. And I started with numbers 1 through 5. That is all we do the first quarter of school is numbers 1 through 5. So this could be really, really fun for them. And I didn't find a way to have sound on here. Maybe I just was completely missing it, but it would be fun for them to have some sound. But I love this because they not only have to recognize the number in its number format, but also looking at fingers, and they could hold up their fingers and do that one-to-one counting to try and find the match. And I love this because they can do a little trial and error, figuring out process of elimination, which ones go together and which ones don't. So if I were to look at this, I see the number 1 right here, and I'm looking for a match. Is there fingers that match the 1? I'm going to look right here. 1, 2. That doesn't match 1. That's not the same. 1, 2, 3. 3 and 1 are not the same thing. So I know that 1 doesn't have a match. So I'm going to see if I can find a match for 2. 1, 2. Those two go together. So I'm going to click on those two. Awesome. I get to move on to the next one. So I'm going to look for a match for 2 or 5. This really helps kiddos with their number sense, knowing what the number looks like, and then also using that one-to-one counting on their fingers. So I know that this is the number 2. I'm going to try to find the match. 1, 2, 3. Those do not go together. 1, 2. Those match. Now, if I were to accidentally mess up, let's see. 1 and 4. If I were to click on these, it doesn't even let me. It doesn't let me click on something that doesn't go together. If I were to click on the 2 numbers, try again. 2 and 1, try again. It doesn't let me even move on. So 4 and 4, those go together. So it just continues to urge students to try again until they get it right. But I love this because it helps them recognize the number in its number form and also on their fingers. I'm going to go back to the home, and this other game that I really enjoyed was the coin bubble. We do money at the end of the year, and this could be so fun for them. It also helps them with counting and the one-to-one correspondence, but also knowing money. So here we are working with pennies, and that's the first thing we focus on. They have to build 7 cents. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the bubble pops. And the goal is to burst 6 bubbles. So now I'm going to make 5 cents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 cents. 1, 2. I love this because it helps with they're recognizing the number and the cents, and they have to build it, and it's 1-to-1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me see what happens. It doesn't even let me continue until I have exactly what they're looking for, which is great. Play again, pop 6 bubbles, making 7 cents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is great. And I can go back and look if I want to do nickels. This is a little bit trickier. This would be something for my higher thinking kiddos who are grasping the concept. They could do nickels. So they're going to make 50 cents. Well, I know a nickel is worth 5 cents. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And they can count by fives. One thing that's really cool about my school is we have a skip counting project. So we start skip counting in September, actually. So when we go back to school this week, we will start skip counting. So cool. So going back to the standards, one of the things I really like to focus on is using the one-to-one correspondence and just building that number sense with my kiddos. So I really hope that this resource is helpful for us and that it is an okay resource for me to use in my classroom because I think it could be really helpful.